Am I the a-hole for leaving a family dinner after my dad's toast? About a year and a half ago, I had a miscarriage. It was one of the most painful things I've ever gone through, and it broke me in ways I didn't see coming. I've been trying to heal ever since. I don't bring it up constantly or make it the focus of conversations, but my close family knows how deeply it affected me. They saw me struggle. They know I lost something that meant the world to me. Last night, we had a big family dinner. It wasn't just my immediate family, extended relatives, some family friends, just a casual get-together to celebrate my sister's pregnancy. It was meant to be a happy evening, and I was genuinely trying to be there and show my support. Then came the toast. My dad stood up, raised his glass, and said, "Here's to a smooth pregnancy, and finally getting a grandchild we can hold." Everyone around the table laughed, clapped, and cheered. My sister smiled wide, but I just sat there, completely stunned. I felt my stomach drop and my heart sink. It was like someone had knocked the wind out of me. I didn't want to cry in front of everyone or make a big deal, so I quietly stood up and said I needed to use the restroom. But instead of going to the bathroom, I walked out of the house, got in my car, and drove home. I just couldn't stay. I couldn't sit there and pretend that comment didn't hurt. Since then, the messages haven't stopped. People are saying I made things weird, that I overreacted, that I should have just let it go and kept the peace for one night. My mom even told me I was making it about me, again. And now I can't stop thinking about it. I keep replaying the moment over and over in my head. Was it really that bad? Was I being too sensitive? Did I take it the wrong way? Maybe it really was just a harmless comment, and I made it into something bigger than it was. I honestly didn't mean to take away from my sister's moment. I didn't want the focus to be on me. I couldn't sit there and act like I was okay when I wasn't. But maybe I should have kept quiet? Maybe I really did ruin the evening. Am I the a-hole? Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole. Finally a grandchild we can hold? Dude. Yeah, that was just straight up cruel. And you know the worst part? Everyone laughed. I was too stunned to react. That hurt, not gonna lie. Not the a-hole. Your father's a moron. Your dad made it awkward. Who says something like that at a dinner with guests, no less? It's okay to be hurt when someone says something so emotionally thoughtless. You weren't upset about your sister's happiness. You were celebrating her. Your idiot father made it about you when he said that. Don't let others minimize your hurt. Their father didn't gut punch them in front of family. Tell your dad that even if he didn't mean it the way it came out, it was still an ignorant thing to say. I'm sorry for your loss. I hope your future is filled with happier memories. Thanks for the kind words. It really helps to hear someone else validate how I felt. I definitely wasn't upset about my sister's happiness, but that comment just hit me out of nowhere. I'll try to talk to my dad, but it's hard to know what to say without making things worse. Honey, there's no way you could say anything to make it worse. Your dad was actually making it about himself when he made that toast. He's the one who made things weird. Ask him to tell you why he felt it was okay to say that. He could have stopped at the first part of the toast and left things at that. But he's an idiot. I'm sorry about that. They're giving you a hard time and doubling down because they feel bad about their own reactions. It's easier to blame someone else as being the problem instead of taking responsibility for their crappiness. Don't back down. You did nothing wrong. Next story. Am I the a-hole for telling my pregnant wife to just hire help and missing the birthday dinner she and the kids planned? I am 37 years old, have a high-paying job where I make around $750,000 a year. It's a demanding job that eats up a lot of my time and energy. I'm usually working long hours and often get home late. My wife, 31 female, is currently 7 months pregnant. And we already have 2 young kids. One is 6 and the other is 3, so there's already a lot going on at home. Lately, my wife has been telling me that she's really tired and overwhelmed. She's been handling pretty much everything at home by herself, taking care of the kids full-time, keeping the house in order and doing all the little things, like getting my clothes ready for work and staying on top of all the household responsibilities. On top of that, she's pregnant and still pushing through every day. She's told me more than once that she needs me to be around more. She's not asking for anything extravagant, she just wants me to be present. I suggested that since we can easily afford it, we could hire some help. Maybe a cleaner or even a part-time nanny to ease the load. I figured that would help her catch a break and reduce the stress she's feeling. But she didn't take it well. She told me that she doesn't want hired help. She just wants me to be there more, to be present with the family, help with the kids, spend more time at home. She said what she needs isn't more help from strangers, but more support from her partner. Then came my birthday last week. My wife and the kids planned a simple dinner at home to celebrate. The kids were really excited about it. They helped her bake a cake, made decorations, and had everything ready for when I got home. But work ran late, and I didn't make it back until after 10 p.m. By then, the kids had already gone to bed. The food was cold, and my wife just sat there, quiet and disappointed, and said that they waited for you. I felt awful. I could see how much effort they had put into it, especially the kids. But in my mind, I honestly thought it wouldn't be a big deal. We could just celebrate another day when I had more time. I'm working hard because I want to give them a good life, with financial stability and opportunities I never had growing up. I thought that providing for them was what mattered most. But now her sister and even my own mom have been telling me that I'm neglecting my family and that I need to start figuring things out before it gets worse. They think I'm missing what's really important. So, am I the a-hole for suggesting we just hire help and for missing the birthday dinner my wife and kids planned? Your payments are going to be child support if you keep up this attitude, OP. You're the a-hole. I've known plenty of people who think like this, and they're always so surprised when the family falls apart, and neither spouse or children want anything to do with them. It's like no one has ever watched movies from the early to mid-2000s. I feel like every other movie back then was about a dad who started out too obsessed with his job, and by the end of the movie learned that real happiness was in being present for his family. Read your own post again. Your wife does all the child care and household work. You are hardly home to even engage with your kids ever. Do you know their favorite color? Do you know what they like to wear? Do you know their favorite foods? Do you know their favorite activities? Do you ever help at home? Do you know what bedtime stories they love? Do you know how to comfort them if they have a nightmare? If you can't answer these questions, then consider if you are being a father. Emphasis on that, because if you know nothing about your own kids, what are you even doing? Or a partner to your wife, because you just aren't there or present to help or engage with their everyday life. You're gone. You're an absent father. Yeah, I know my kids. I do spend time with them. I'm not busy all the time, but there are times when I'm going to be busy. I feel like it was an unrealistic expectation to expect a parent to be around 24/7. Yeah, you're the a-hole. Your kids won't remember the money you brought home. They will remember you never being there. I'm simply gobsmacked that OP talked about the sweet gesture and excitement of his kids wanting to make him feel special on his birthday and blew it off because they could do something another time. He couldn't even be bothered to be present for one damn day. It makes me wonder if there is someone at work who is more important to him than his wife and kids. What a completely selfish person. Next story. Am I the a-hole for telling a pregnant woman I'd call the cops on her? I, 18 female, am currently living alone, as my mother, 45 female, and brother, 25 male, both left for work for a few months. The driveway to my house is now empty as my brother took the car, and I don't have a permit, so I don't own one. Over the course of 2 months, I counted 7 people just parking here. Not a word. They'd leave their car as if they own the place and leave for hours at a time. I have now installed a chain that blocks the entrance. They would have to take it off if they wanted to park here. Today a, shall I say regular, wanted to pull up but couldn't. She knocked on my door and demanded, not even asked, just straight up demanded, that I take it off, because she has no way of parking. She was pregnant, my guess somewhere 7th to 8th month. I told her I'm not going to do that because I am not comfortable with random people parking before my house, especially since I have to leave through that door to go to the backyard with my rescue dogs, who are afraid of strangers and will attack if they see one on our property. I explained that this is not a public parking space but my house's. She scoffed and said she's aware, But I haven't been using it either way, so what's the big deal? I got annoyed and told her I'm just not comfortable with it and can't even take my dogs out peacefully because of people like her. Mind you, there is a parking lot 5 minutes away on foot. I reminded her of that and she gave me the nastiest look and complained that she'd have to pay, and she's unable to because she's counting every euro to give her child a good life. I told her that's none of my problem and that she's welcome to ask my neighbors if any of them would be willing to let her park there for a few hours. But if she wouldn't leave me alone, or if she took the chain off herself and parked here, I'd call the cops on her. She started crying, calling me heartless and an a-hole, saying I don't care about her baby's future and just want her to waste her money when she could just use my parking space. I admitted that I do not care because neither her car nor her child is my problem and went back inside. I may have been a bit harsh to her, especially given she's pregnant, but I feel like she had it coming. So, am I the a-hole? Now for the comments. Time for some signs. No trespassing. Private property. Trespassers will be towed. I'll have to look into it. I'm not sure where I could buy signs in my city. Might need to order them online. Piece of wood and paint. And if your penmanship isn't good, print out a stencil, a paper with what you want written, and use an X-Acto knife to have and cut it out. Buying online may be easier and more professional-like. I think the handwritten ones are a bit more effective though, as they look like the owner is slightly unhinged, especially if you write it in red paint. Not the a-hole. Her laziness is not a reason to risk your property and insurance. Also, check your city/county/state rules about a property owner having a car towed at car owner's expense, so you'll know what to do if it happens again. You might need to call police, or you might be able to call a tow company. I'll look into it. I'm just not sure if I'll be able to do anything, considering the house is in my mom's name and she's away. If one of them, pregnant lady for instance, parks in your drive and you allow it, then falls or some other calamity befalls them, your mom could lose her house and you'd be out of a place to live. If it's the dog that bites them, it will be put down. Not worth it to be nice. Last story. Would I be the a-hole if I tell my niece the truth about why she can't go on vacation with me? Every 2 to 3 years since 2016, I, 39 female, have taken my sister, 42, and her kids, 14 and 17 females and 22 male, on vacation to Universal Studios, Florida. My nephew is on the spectrum and has a number of different issues, including ADHD, which he's on meds for. This is relevant later. Around the time that we started going on these family vacations, which I've paid for, my sister graduated with her BA in social work. Since graduating, her personality started to change and people, friends and fam, started noticing, but no one ever said anything. It was just weird. Over the last 2 years or so, she's made new friends around her age that she's grown very close to. During this same time, her behavior has gotten progressively worse, to the point where she thinks she's always right and won't listen to reason or logic. She also says that her new friends are more her family over her own siblings and mother. My sister is my father's golden child, so she can do no wrong in his eyes. I don't think her friends like me very much, but I couldn't care less about them. It's important to note here, per the timeline, that my nephew wanted to decrease his medication doses and was able to do so with his doctor's approval. He tried to throw them away, but I had suggested that he walk them down to the local pharmacy and dispose of them in their medication disposal bin. He asked me to do it, and without thinking, I agreed. I seriously thought nothing of it and didn't realize it would come back to bite me. Back to my sister. Things got really bad between us in March. She said she needed to talk to me, but wouldn't say about what, and I had no idea. She came to my house and accused me of stealing my nephew's meds. I laughed and told her she was crazy. Her logic was that I lost too much weight. I was almost 300 pounds, and I lost 90 pounds over the last 2 years with diet and exercise. Literally kept a food diary and recorded my workouts. I tried to reason with her and explain that the weight loss was happening over a period of time, way before my nephew started to decrease his dosages. But she wasn't having any of it and said she's not freaking retarded. She then started making demands. demanded that I hand the medication over and open a little tiny money safe that I have. She also started name-calling and proceeded to go through my personal belongings. She then asked me where my other safe was, and this confused me because I don't own another safe. I told her to leave or I was calling the cops, which I did a minute later. Cops told her to leave and I was left in disbelief. She is now trying to turn her kids against me. Her 17-year-old did believe the lies being spread, but claimed she came to her senses and her mom was wrong to do what she did. She will be 18 by the time we go in December, but I suspect my younger niece will not be allowed to go. My sister was very adamant that she doesn't want anyone, including the 14-year-old, to know what happened. I tried to text my sister to ask, but she said she needs to talk to me. I refuse to speak to anyone who believes I took my nephew's meds. I think I touched on the relevant points, but I'm happy to provide more info if necessary. Would I be the a-hole if I was honest with my niece when she asks why she can't go to Universal? Why was she freaking the heck out about the meds? Was she also taking them? Her reaction was way too over the top for this situation. My sister was very adamant that she doesn't want anyone, including the 14-year-old, to know what happened. Do you mean that your sister doesn't want anyone to know about her freakout, even though she was spreading lies about you? Something there doesn't make sense. I agree. Her reaction was way over the top. Yes, she texted me later that day, saying she didn't want anyone in the family knowing about what she did, especially her daughter. I did not respond. I don't know, man. Sounds like she was taking his meds. If she doesn't let her youngest go, I would talk to her privately first about the whole situation and come from a place of concern. I think you have a right and duty to yourself to tell your niece the truth and attempt to clear your name. Where was your nephew in all this? Did he speak up? He did. He tried to defend me, and she told him he was a freaking retard if he didn't see it. He's been really upset because he feels like he has to choose between his mother and myself. I assured him I wasn't mad at him, as I have no reason to be. I think his mother said something, but I can't prove it. Why would you take any of them anywhere? Stay away from her. You literally had to call the police on her and now you're going to take her and her children on vacation? Step back, OP. She's not safe to be around. What if she accuses you of something worse? You don't need to waste your time and money on this. How can you trust her? Oh no. My sister is never invited to go anywhere with me ever again. But I would still like to take my nieces and nephew.